Hi, my name is Bill. I'm from Plano, Texas. And what I would like to introduce to you today is a lawnmower recording of a model 8214. It was actually purchased in 1984 and is still in use today. The model is rather unique. All of the YouTube videos I've seen, I've yet to come across one that demonstrates the blade clutch feature that this particular machine has. And what this does is actually allow the machine to start without turning the blade. In the early 80s, the government required all lawnmower manufacturers to stop the blade within 3 seconds when it was left unattended. And most lawnmower manufacturers used a bell like you see on this particular one. It was released, stopped the engine from running. And how I did that was stop the engine spark immediately, and it used a set of blade linings underneath the flywheel that expanded and stopped the machine from turning within the 3 seconds that was required by the government. This uses a little different system in that it has a feature called blade clutch, which you see it's described here. And what this does is actually allow the engine to start and to continue to run, and it doesn't engage the blade until the bell at the handle is actually pulled back like you see on mowers today. What was different on this particular machine, you could start it from the engine housing instead of up at the handle like you see most mowers even today. It does use the F-Series lawnmower 2-cycle engine. This is a very light machine. The housing is made out of aluminum magnesium alloy. Makes an excellent mulcher, when incidentally this came originally as a bagger, not a mulcher. The engine turns in operating service RPM somewhere between 3,300 RPM and 3,600 RPM. Most 4-cycle engines today used in mowers have a maximum RPM of 2,900. So this has a little higher speed, and it makes it an excellent mulching mower. Second thing is, of course, it's much lighter using a 2-cycle engine. The machine was actually made to service. If you ever have to take off this particular module, the screw right here is very hard to get to. They even drilled a hole for you so you could actually put a number 2 Phillips screwdriver in to access that particular screw. Take these other two screws off the housing, and it'll come off. For instance, the carburetor, once you take off the gas tank, will actually come off with 2 screws. There's no rods or springs or anything else connected to it. It's really a repairman's dream as far as servicing it. I want to start it, so I'm going to try to do this now. And the problem I have with this particular machine, and I need to get something done to it, I just discovered the fuel leak through the fuel line, so I have to shut it off. But I think I've got enough gas in the carburetor to run it. You'll notice it has a unique sound when it starts up, in that the engine doesn't have a load on it. If you listen to any of the other videos on YouTube, you'll notice it has a different sound. This one starting up. Anyway, to start it up, usually you have to prime it 2 or 3 times and then pull it. Final compression. There it is. So maybe you can still hear me. What I'm going to do next is engage the blade, which will make the machine sound completely different. Now it will self-propel without cutting the grass. That's what I just did. This grass has already been cut by it a few minutes before. Here's the blade. And there you have it. Lawn Boy model 8214. First came into service in 1984, 26 years old.